right, question of the day. We're taking a look at a quick roundup. What is your favorite genre of gaming, period? Because you can be a Euro person and a Amerithrash person, but okay, specifically a genre mechanic. So like dice chucking or worker placement, right? I like games with a deck building inside of another mechanic, like Great Western Trail, all those sort of games. But also, like I like games that are app assisted, which we're going to talk about in a couple weeks here with a fantastic game called Dark Quarter. But today we're taking a look at 3 games. Number 1 is Coffee Rush. I'd never heard of it until I picked it up. Number 2, Seven Wonders Dice. And number 3, we're taking a look at the new Heroclix X-Men 97 set. Oh my gosh, it looks fantastic. So let's take a look really quick at the roundup, and we will talk about these 3 games, and we'll get going. Now let's start first and foremost with Coffee Rush. I picked this up at the retreat, and I am super excited that I did. So let's take a look at how it plays. We'll come back up, talk final thoughts. All right, this is Coffee Rush. Now, this setup down here is kind of middle of the game, but everything else is pretty much the beginning game. The only reason it's middle of the game is because you have the current coffee orders out here, which we'll explain in just a minute. Basically, on your turn, you've got a couple things that are going to happen. Now, I'm going to show you, this is for the 2-player setup, and the reason that is because you need people on the board. The reason there's people on the board is for a couple reasons. You're going to be moving around up to 3 spaces, so 1, 2, 3, and yes, you could go 1, 2, 3, back and forth on the same spaces. What you do is any space you enter, you get. So you've got chocolate, you've got water, you've got tea, you've got caramel, you've got coffee, you've got ice, cream, and steam. All the ingredients to make fantastic coffee drinks. So, in case in point, for this one, this is a specialty menu, so it's got a rush token, which just let me clear what that up is really quick. Normally, you can only take 3 spaces. If you have the rush token, you can spend it to move a 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th space, depending on how many rush tokens you have. The recipe for this coffee, an iced macchiato, or mochaccino, excuse me, is coffee, chocolate, cream, and ice. You're going to need to collect those. Now, it's not 100% clear in the rule book, and on BGG it's cleared up. When you collect these, they have to go into a cup or to be discarded. Now, these cups are very nice, right? They're adorable. So let's say we're going to do the black tea, for instance. Now, this is a hot black tea, not an iced black tea. There's another one. Anyway, so you need to collect a water, a tea, and a steam. Now, you can have 2 of these ingredients just sitting here until you get the 3rd. Once you get the 3rd, you can then spend it to say, okay, I'm now cashing in this drink. To which case you will take the drink, put it over here. Let me see, drop that in there, into your completed orders. No, actually, let me just show you over here. This would be this section here, the completed order. So that would just sit right there. Now, if you don't happen to complete the drink that you have in front of you, they're going to rotate down here at the end of your turn. And once they rotate off of here, they turn into a negative. And this negative goes here. Once somebody gets 5 negatives, the game turns to closed, and then equal turns, and then you'll count points. The way the points work is 2 points per upgrade. We'll talk about how to get those in a minute. Plus a point per completed drink order, minus your negative points down here. In order to do upgrades, you're going to spend 3 completed drinks to turn these over. Now, you say 3 completed drinks, that's a 3-point swing to a 2-point swing, 3 points to 2 points, which it is. It's a -1 net. However, you get these bonuses. Normally, you cannot move diagonal. This one lets you move diagonal. Normally, you just collect what's in a space, right? This one allows you to collect 2 of the same ingredient of what's in a space. This would be 2 of the same ingredient in the corners, and this would be 2 of the ingredients with the yellow banners on it. Let me just kick this off for a second here. So when you walked onto chocolate, you would then take 2 chocolates if you had that open. When you walked here to steam, you would get 2 steam because of that. And then last but not least, with the 2, anywhere there's another person standing and you walk across it, you would get 2 of that. Good. You'll gain rush tokens by anytime you get a penalty, you gain a rush token, and anytime you finish a specialty menu item, you'll gain a rush token as well. If you don't finish a certain coffee on your turn, everything will slide down the order sheet. In the 2-player game, you're going to add a drink. And the other rule is, for the passage of time, too many orders, is no matter how many, or depending on how many orders the other person completes on their turn, you'll gain that many cards. Now, that could be a positive, could be a negative. So let's say they complete 1, 2 orders, so they move from over here. You will then draw 2 orders to put into your level 1 right there. That's how you play Coffee Rush. That is Coffee Rush. First of all, I almost thought about doing this in a full-blown review. It's just a little short. for even the teach, so I didn't. So I wanted to add some stuff to it. But like, I really like this game. I don't know anything about the background of this game. So before people are like, oh, Bryan, how come you don't know that this game was kickstarted and did blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Like, I got this game. I don't know how, don't know anything about it, don't know the backstory. All I know is it's gorgeous. The little coffee cups, the glass mugs, right? Those are fantastic. They're plastic, but they're supposed to be glass. The ingredients, they're so nice. All 8 of them. I think there's 8, right? It just looks so good. And it's not tokens. You could have done this with chits and tokens, but it's nice upgraded materials. And man, this game has a table presence, even though it's small. I love the way this game looks. Plus, let's talk about mechanics wise. The notion of getting the ingredients, it actually feels right. This is one of those weird things where you're abstracting out something bigger. Like if you're working at a coffee shop and you're quickly rushing around to grab the ingredients, chocolate, I get a pump of chocolate, pump of this, need some extra espresso in here. That's what it feels like. And in fact, some of the items being a little rarer kind of shows, it takes a little longer to make coffee as opposed to whatever, right? So to me, I think that's a fantastic abstraction of real life into something that is a quick worker movement type resource collection game. And then you make your drinks. Now, you make your drinks based on whatever you choose to do. You want to do them based on the recipe at the lowest? Sure, because then you're going to knock out. But sometimes you know that if you're just working on these, you're not going to be in a position to get to the resources and you're going to stack up and cascade and end the game too quickly. So sometimes you got to do a drink down here, 2 up here. So that way it alleviates up there. To me, I think that's where this game shines, is in the ability to go, okay, what do I need to do right now to do the next right thing for this action, for this turn? Because I don't want to end the game so early that we just don't get to play it anymore, right? So I think Coffee Rush is a fantastic game. If you can find it, I don't know what the availability is. I don't know anything about it. It's just, other than this game, is fantastically fun. Let's take a look right now at 7 Wonders Dice. Now, I love 7 Wonders. I love 7 Wonder Duel. I love that Middle Earth, whatever I call it, 7 Wonders, Lord of the Rings, right? Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle Earth, I think it's called. I love that game. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's fantastic. So naturally, because I love 7 Wonders, I play 7 Wonders the app a lot on planes. I'm gonna like this game, right? Now let's take a look, see how 7 Wonders Dice plays. We'll come back up, talk final thoughts right now. All right, this is 7 Wonders, the dice game, or 7 Wonders Dice. Not 7 Wonders Duel, not 7 Wonders Architect, but 7 Wonders Dice. Now you'll notice an aesthetic that is different. The art in this game is not like the art in the original game, or the remake, or anything like it. In fact, it's very, very cartoony, different style art. Much more like the Architect style. What you're going to do on this game is you'll notice it is a roll and write. So there's dice over here. You'll put the lid on this dice thing. You'll shake it around at the beginning of the turn. You'll lift it off. And then now, each dice in each section is worth that much. It costs that much to use it. Plus, if you have to use the action associated with it, it'll cost more. So case in point, this wood one, if you wanted this dice, you could take it. If you don't take it, that's, oh boy. Let me get to my frustrations a little bit. You just say, I'm doing that one. And you'll come down here. You'll mark off that you got the wooden dice. Now you produce a resource. Resources don't matter necessarily. It doesn't matter what you produce. At no point do you have to produce a certain thing to build a certain thing. Well, yes. That is incredibly stripped down of the original. You also have coins down here. Coins supplement. So you start with those coins, the ones that are circled, and you cross them off when you use them, and you circle the new ones to gain them. Resources plus the coins supplemented will go to buy things like this. So case in point, in order to take this, you would need this dice showing here. Let's use the owl for an example. The owl is in our box, so we can use it. You'll go from the bottom one here. This one costs 3 resources or coins, and at the end of the game, you'll get points for that. Battles will go based on the strength minus the defense of the person sitting left and right of you. The purple dice can't be added until you've unlocked the ability to add the purple dice by using the green. So no longer are you doing major set collection with exponential growth. You're doing bonuses and perks, which I don't hate, actually. And then up here, you've got the leader's dice, or the different dice here. You unlock this as well. These are just things you unlock and make better as you continue playing. But essentially, you're going to just mark off what you take. So if you take the camel, you can take one of these 3 actions here. If you take the treasure chest, one of those 4 actions. If you take any of the green, you take those actions. The blue, those actions. Red, those actions. Purple, and those actions. And then you can always also do the wonder. You can also kick out a dice for the amount of gold. But that is how you play 7 Wonders Dice. If you remember back to when I did the Terraforming Mars review, don't look at the original video like 9 years ago here on the Dice Tower. It was pretty bad. I was still learning how I wanted to do reviews and busting breaking in. I kind of wanted to do like an Alton Brown style, and I kept to that for a while. Terraforming Mars, though, this one was not one. This is a bad video. Anyway, loved the game. Then Terraforming Mars, the Ares expansion came out, the card game. Loved the game. Then Terraforming Mars, the dice game came out, and hated the game. I don't know why, because I like dice versions of games, but I do know why. There's a whole lot of stuff involved, but it's interesting. I love Seven Wonders. I think it did right. I went through all that. I went through all the Seven Wonder love that I have. I don't like this game. I don't know. Just no thank you, right? Like, I don't know why. I don't know what it is about it. I'm just not fond of this one. And it's not an objectively bad game. Here's the thing. It's actually an objectively good game because of what you do. You take a very simple roll and write, and you take Seven Wonders, and you essentially kind of have Seven Wonders, the travel game, right? This is one you can definitely teach people as a next step game for sure, even an intro game, especially when it comes to roll and writes. It's fairly simple what you're going to do. But what I don't like about it is the ways that corners were cut to be simple. Now, I don't mean corners were cut to be lazy. I just mean things were sanded off of the original game into this version that make it too simplistic. Case in point, the resource types don't matter. That bothers me so bad because there's one of the things that's beautiful about Seven Wonders is I don't have to produce wood or brick. I can get it from this person. Now it's like, well, it doesn't matter. I just produce a resource. Now, yes, I'm aware that each of those spaces can only be scratched off once. So you can't produce 6 bricks and count those as 6 resources. I'm aware, but there's still something magical about the notion of like, I have bricks, you have wood, I'm going to buy yours, I'm going to buy this person's, and boom, there's my card, I'm playing down my wonder. You just don't have that here. You have, there's a camel, I'm going to take one of those 3 actions. There's an owl, I get to bump up. It just doesn't feel like Seven Wonders enough for me. The other thing that drives me crazy is that everybody can just choose the dice. Like in a game that is a drafting game. The original game is a drafting game. Why is it not drafting? Why isn't it like, all right, the dice are rolled, choose a dice out of there? To me, that's just crazy talk not to draft the dice each turn instead of like, nope, everybody can use the same thing. Okay, then what's the point of that? I mean, I'd have put a first player mechanic or something in there just to allow it's just crazy to me. To me, that is absolutely wild that this is not a dice drafting game. Also, the fact that you have to shuffle them each time. So in 2 players or 3 players, smaller amounts, that's a whole lot of like, yep, we all pick the same dice, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Yep, we all pick the same dice, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. It just gets monotonous. So I think this could be better, right? I think you could institute a couple things to make this so much better, but currently it is not there for me. I am not a fan of how this is in the current iteration, and I feel bad for saying that because I love Seven Wonders. I love dice games of bigger games. I just don't love this one. So prove me wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe you could see with the tweaks I'm talking about, this would be better. But like, am I crazy? Am I the one who's wrong? I don't know, right? But let me know what you think about Seven Wonders Dice Game. And now last but not least, I'm going to show you some Heroclix because I love it. Heroclix X-Men 97. I'm going to just show you some different cards right here. You can pause the camera if you're fans of the Heroclix stuff because Lord knows, have mercy, you want to see those cards. So I'm going to pull some of the cards I got. I'm not doing a full review, not doing a full unboxing or anything like that. I'm going to show you this set, some sculpts and some cards, and then you can be happy about it. But I love this game. I love X-Men 97. I think it's amazing they went from like, hey, let's do a starter set to let's do a full-blown set. And boy, Gambit playing basketball cracked me up when I opened that up. So let's take a look at those, and we'll come back up, talk final thoughts. Well, that's it for this roundup. There's a lot of great content here. Make sure you follow us at Dice Tower Bryan on Instagram. Make sure to follow the merch store at dicetowerstore.com. And we will see you coming up next on the Dice Tower Cruise.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vassell.